Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Insomnia Campbell, and today, during the Sony State of Play livestream, Oddworld SoulStorm had a new trailer drop, and its release date has been announced. It is coming April 6th, 2021 to the Epic Games Store, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5 for free for all members with PlayStation Plus. Also, note, I literally just came out of the hospital. I've just woken up, so I'm very whoa at the moment. And this is the first thing that I saw when I woke up. The trailer for Oddworld SoulStorm happened exactly as I woke up and picked up my phone. So I did get to watch it live at the hospital as soon as I woke up. So I have watched it a couple times. But if I miss anything, do let me know and feel free to talk about it in the comments. So without further ado, let's get into the trailer.
Hi, I'm Lauren Lanning, Creative Director at Oddworld Inhabitants. Today I'm going to take you on a brief tour of our newest game, Oddworld SoulStorm.
They've always known you would come. Do you know why you have?
In SoulStorm, you reprise the role of Abe, accidental hero turned unlikely leader of an emerging revolution, as you do battle through weird and wonderful environments in an effort to escape the all-powerful and eternally greedy Gluckons. We really wanted to bring this world to life with what we call 2.9D platforming, which adds much more depth and immersion for the player. This sense of connection is also reinforced through the use of the DualSense's haptic feedback, as you'll now be able to feel Abe's heartbeat in high alert and suspenseful situations.
Okay, so the first thing I want to quickly talk about is the intro title card. This scene here is very nice. I like how Abe is just like kind of wandering around very slowly, observing his environment. I just wanted to quickly address that. Not the focus point of this particular part, but anyway. I also noticed going through a lot of the scenes that we've seen before that it looks a lot better. Everything looks a lot more polished and it just looks a lot sharper. To me, the graphics just look a lot better. Really crispy clean. I quite like it. I think it's it looks very good. Now, I'm pretty sure that this place is FICO Depot. I mean, key signs are the information terminal, the sign here that says train terminal. You've also got all of the storage containers and the building over there, which could quite possibly be the main FICO Depot hub building itself. It's very strange though, because it looks more like a stockyard, but you know, it's a giant train station, like it's a hub. It's not just a hub for people, but it also is a transportation unit for lots of inventory. So it makes sense that there's heaps and heaps of carts laying around. In this scene here, back in the Slig Barracks, you see Abe is actually with some Mudokons, probably on the way back from where we saw him last time. It looks like it doesn't take too many hits for Abe and the Mudokons to get killed, which is good. The difficulty seems to be there, though I imagine there will probably be a difficult setting, so it really depends. It also looks like the checkpoint marker is here to stay. I think I saw it further in, which is, I don't know, that's still very odd to me. It does not make a lot of sense, but there you go. Another scene where Abe is getting shot, and only takes him a couple hits to die, so it looks like it is going to be pretty difficult in terms of dodging bullets, which is good. It's going to be like the originals. It also sucks because right there, it looks like there was some real jelly he was about to pick up, so he was so close to getting a bit of a health boost. Maybe he would have been able to survive an extra shot, who knows. In this scene, we get to hear the very vain Baron's voice for the first time. As you can see, he's got a bust of himself in the background. To the right, there is a Mudokon skull. He must like that very much. You get to hear him grunt, so you don't really get to hear his voice, but you can kind of get an idea of his vocal tone, I suppose. Seems a bit weird. I feel like that animation happened a bit too quickly. I don't know if it was sped up or not, but there you go. He looks very menacing. You get to see the back of his head, and it's all... He's really ugly. He's very ugly. Now here we can definitely tell that the area I was talking about before is certainly FICO Depot, because you can see it's FICO Depot, and which is nice actually. It's nice that they're keeping it as the original name, because early on in production they changed it to Comet Depot, but I think they realized that a lot of people preferred it to stay the same. So this is very nice, and it seems that he has to kind of work his way in there. He doesn't just sneak in on a train belt itself. You gotta fight your way through, which is nice. You get to see different perspectives of the same places. Really opens it up a bit more, makes it more lively. So I think that's really nice. I'm not entirely sure what this place is, but if I had to guess, I'd say that it is the Boneworks. It looks a lot different to the original, but what gives me that theory is this giant machine here. They look very, very familiar. I love these scenes here because look at the detail. You can see all the cobwebs. The lighting effect is quite nice. The smooth animation of Abe running and using his torch, which I think is nice. You know, he's got his cute little torch going on there. Very smooth. Here I'm also guessing this is Necrom. You've got one of those green levers. I think I called it something else in the previous video that I did. That's my bad. But yeah, there he is right there. See? Still in there. Still in there.
This sense of connection is also reinforced through the use of the DualSense's haptic feedback, as you'll now be able to feel Abe's heartbeat in high alert and suspenseful situations.
And I think that's amazing. I think that's kind of creepy too, but it just gives you more sense of immersion and realism. It makes you sort of connect more with the character as well. So it's a very intense connection relationship that you have with Abe. You can also see that these guys have health bars. I don't know if that's health and that's his like a stamina gauge or his alert level. Maybe he's like knocked out at the moment, so he's unresponsive for a certain amount of time. It does go up pretty quickly, so I'm gonna say that's like an effect that he has. He's got a bunch of Z's, so maybe he's just unconscious.
There are well over 1,000 fellow Mudokons that you must try to save along the way, but they are far more than helpless workers looking to be saved. When used effectively, you'll be able to solve puzzles, harness their combined energy, and be given the tools they need to fight alongside you. And there will be times when the extra hands will be needed as you face off against an array of heavily armed enemies that will stop at nothing to find and end Abe once and for all.
Alright, very famous scene of Alf and Toby sipping on some SoulStorm brew. In the background, of course, you can see the Sleek Barracks, and it seems that you also get to see outside where you actually go, because there's quite a lot going on down there that you'd be able to interact with. So I think that's really cool. I really like the different angles, the different perspectives that you get to see of all the paths that you'll be taking. So if you pay really close attention, you might be able to see stuff that you wouldn't normally if you were running along that path. Okay, so here we get to see the upgraded and more fleshed out look of the follower UI handling system. So in this little area here, you can see how much moolah you've got, which has got a nice little symbol there. You can also toggle how your Mudokons are going to behave, aggro, and they're going to try kill people, or more of a passive play and they're going to stun them and not be so violent. Over here, you've got the wheel of what you can give them. Fizzy pop explosive, but probably not deadly. So I imagine you can make it so, perhaps, if you combine it with other things. And you also got your Brune, which is instant heat when smashed, so that's going to be very chaotic. Yeah. It's also nice to see that you can string up the sligs that can fly around as well. That's cool. I want to see if they fall down and crash or something and it knocks them out for a wee bit longer. That would be quite funny, actually. Over here, you get a small little taste of the destructive environment. As you can see, quite a lot, I imagine, of everywhere you go can be broken, either intentionally or accidentally. So you've got to really pay attention to where you're putting Abe. And as you can see over to the right there, he just gets barraged with bullets. So it seems perhaps later on he can actually take quite the hit. You also get to see some more of the infamous greeters. When their mouths open up, they seem to have what looks like an electrocution device. At first glance, when they were first introduced and meet the greeters, it looked like their tongues were more like a grappling hand, like a claw, so it pulls you in or something like that. I don't know, it was really creepy. A lot of people say that they don't like the voices. I personally like it quite a lot because it really reflects their lore, like their original purpose was to be servants, so it makes sense that they had upbeat voices. I do appreciate the old ones, but I think I do prefer the new voice more so. In this shot, we also get to have a better look at the Slig Mama machine, and Abe gets absolutely destroyed by it. Can't wait to deal with that baby, that's for sure.
In order to stand a chance against this much larger threat, we gave Abe the ability to scavenge, loot, and pickpocket items from his surroundings and use them to craft an impressive arsenal of his own that he can share with others. You can also play as a non-lethal pacifist or an agent of chaos. We wanted you to have the choice. But there is one iconic ability for our shamanic protagonist, possession. This mystical power allows you to take control of your foes and use their strengths and weapons against them, or use them to gain access to paths still ahead. The Oddworld universe is a diverse place, and this means that there are some environments and situations that require a little more thought, patience, and stealth. You'll find dark and dangerous caves, heavily guarded industrial sites, and ancient forgotten lands. Here, we've built lots of opportunities for you to test your skills and find different ways to handle things. It won't be easy. If being hunted by an army backed by a shady and wealthy organization isn't bad enough, there are also more dangers in the forms of natural obstacles, ancient traps, trials against swarming dark creatures, and industrial hazards that must be dodged, crossed, and avoided. Ultimately, Abe's journey is one of hope, freedom, and truth. There is a rich and engaging narrative to discover in a world full of lies, and we've been able to bring our characters to life like never before. In true Oddworld fashion, your actions in-game will decide the fate of Abe and all those you manage to liberate along the way, and we can't wait to see what you will do.
Okay, so in this next scene, you get to see Abe gets to loot a bunch of garbage out of a trash can, which is kind of gross, but he is a scavenger after all. Also, I'm pretty sure this little platform here is a secret path. I think this was one of the first gameplay scenes we saw way back at E3, I believe. And there were a few paths that I noticed and pointed out, so this one might be one as well. You can also see the gumrod vending machine underneath. I wonder what that's going to be used for. Now we finally get to see Abe actually looting some sligs. I don't know if you can do it whilst they're awake, but it's still pretty cool to do even if they're asleep. If you can do it both ways, it'd be a lot of fun, though looting a slig that's very much alert is going to be a bit risky, so hopefully there's a bit more reward in it for that. Now, I noticed that a few of the items that are about to pop up have some really funny things to say, so I'll just go through them real quick for you. You got the brew bottle, splashy, sticky, very tasty, and highly flammable. SoulStorm brew will help you get the party started and then help you burn down the venue when you've had enough. Antiviral wipes kills 99.9% of bacteria. Give the remaining 0.1% your lunch money, and you should be fine. Wiring kit, the workers who wired up all our electric gates and switches left piles of the stuff lying around. Okay, so that one not so much, but still, it's quite fun. Here in the barracks, we have Abe lighting some slogs on fire with brew bottles. I can't imagine they'll add too much of a karmic disruption, so I think slaughtering these annoying creatures should be absolutely fine. So there you can see that there is obviously quite a few ways that you can really mess with characters. I honestly get like an Assassin's Creed vibe at this point. You can like hang from a ceiling or a ledge or something. You can jump up there and pull their pants down or stab them in the back and throw them off. Or you can attach a sticky SoulStorm bottle and blow them up that way. It's all a good time. And even when they're sneaking, you can tie them up. That's awesome. Love it. Now, I don't know about you, but the possession orb seems fairly unbound by the laws of physics, so it seems you'll be able to move it around quite easily, which is nice, because I can imagine there'll be a few cases in which you'll probably want to target a particular enemy and get the wrong one and mess up the whole thing, so it seems pretty easy to control as well, and there's a bit of freedom involved in it, so that's good, that's good. Now this is cool. In the most recent trailer we saw that Abe could hide in lockers, but also the Mudokons can too, so they really can copy Abe in a lot of varying ways, which is super cute. I thought that was hilarious just then when the slig was like, yeah, nothing to see here, turns around, Abe hops out, and then his whole entourage appears as well. It's quite cool. It's very nice. Also, I realize I say cool and all that a lot. I can be a bit of a broken record. I'm sorry. So it appears that there are steam vents and actual shadows that you can hide amongst, and not only are the smoke screens good for you to hide yourself and cloak yourself within, but they also act as a smoke guard from snipers. That's very clever.
Here, we've built lots of opportunities for you to test your skills and find different ways to handle things.
So there will be many different ways in which you can complete a single level. I'm pretty sure there'll also be like a tally system at the end, so you'll get like a overall analysis of how well you did and what you missed, so you can go back and try to do it a different way. Perhaps you might like accidentally destroy a platform, which will take you a different route, so then you have to rethink your strategy and go a different way. Perhaps all sorts of different stuff, I imagine, which is great because that introduces a lot of replayability. And the originals had so much replayability and it was the same kind of thing every single time, but this one here, just imagine Ah, it's going to be so much game time. It's awesome. What I have noticed about the smoke vents though, comparatively to New and Tasty, you can still kind of see yourself in the smoke vents. But in this scene here, you can't actually see Abe, the Madogans, or the Sligs at all. Like, they completely vanish. So I think they've definitely upped that effect. So it's nice to see that they've tweaked it a little bit, in hopes, I assume, to make some of us in the community feel a little better. Now, this scene here is got a lot to take in. Abe's being chased by a Slig who is obviously on board that Abe wasn't aware of. I'm guessing, I don't know if this is the same place. I'm pretty sure it is, that Abe sneaks into, and there must be like a Slig at the back that surprises him. But on the TV screens, you've got these two brew bottles equals Happy Madokin. You've got SNN. I don't know what that says. Cave Aid, perhaps? Not sure. But in this TV here, you've got the Mudos Misinformer. So you can see that there's a lot of politics going on. And I imagine based on what you do in each level and how your karma ends up at certain points will determine what is shown on these screens and how the media perceives Abe and the Madokans as a whole. I imagine if it gets too bad, then your entire species might go extinct, because that sounds like it's quite possible bad ending. Yeah, it's very intense. In this quick snippet, we get to take our first look at two of the other main important Gluckons. They look very good, but also very creepy. I like how they've all very original and they look very distinct from one another now. There's a lot of character involved here. And the detail in their eyes. I mean, look at this guy. It's absolutely terrifying. From the teeth to the eyes. It's just, yeah, he does not look very happy. And in the background here, you've got this giant machine that looks like an angry face, which is kind of, you know, doubling up on the two. You know, they go hand in hand, and it just brings the whole scene together in a very, very angry tone. And I think this is the brewmaster, or the head of the alchemical guild. He also has a bust of himself. They are all so vain. So incredibly vain. Ridiculous. Also, you can see on the side table there's a drink. It's not SoulStorm Brew or Fizzy Pop, but it is one of the drinks that you can get yourself. I'm just not entirely sure what it is, but you can see one of the vendos back earlier where Abe wraps up one of the Sligs that's sleeping. Oh yeah, so if there wasn't enough hazards already, now you have to worry about giant rocks falling down on you and squishing you. Not just little spiky ones that swing back and forth or drop down quite quickly. No, you've got giant columns to look out for. You've also got what I assume are fire pits of some sort. I don't actually know what that is. They must be like some sort of heated rope or something that you got to get past, and it gets caught on fire and dies. Also, you can see some Madokans more fleshed out, so to speak. I don't know, their bones have kind of held in place a lot better than some of the others that are really just stacked up on top of each other and fallen to bits. So that's creepy. That's creepy. You've also got the swarming dark creatures, as Lon Lanning refers to them as. Still not necessarily pointing out what they are, but they kind of look like little face huggers or fuzzles with tentacles. And there's the spiky boars that I mentioned before. Oh yes, and you've got giant buzz blades now. That's so cool. They like probably swing back and forth. They like run around side to side. It's all over this show. Yeah. Nah, the meat grinders that we had in Odyssey and Exodus are probably going to be a cakewalk, so to speak. And you really get hooked onto them too. You see Abe and Co getting rather attached to them and spin around like a merry-go-round. Lovely stuff. And you've just got your shuttle bays as well coming past at high speed, so you don't want to get hit by those. No, all the trains within Fico Depot. Wouldn't recommend it. So I have no idea what exactly is being said in this scene. Originally I thought it was the one where they run out of brew, but no, this is definitely next towards where Alf and Toby were drinking from their brew bottles, as you can tell from there. And in the background, of course, you've still got the Slig barracks. So I guess Abe's kind of going over a plan, perhaps, or just telling him how screwed they are and how concerned he is. He looks very concerned. Toby looks confused, and Alf looks rather shocked. Actually, what I think this conversation could be is Abe telling those two that it actually isn't good for them. The SoulStorm drink, that is. Abe's like, guys, this is Gluckin product. You shouldn't be drinking it. It's bad for you. It's hard to tell whether or not Abe's really determined the effects of the drink. It's unlikely at this point because they seem so willingly to drink it and they don't really seem all that fazed by it. But Abe looks kind of concerned, so maybe he knows something that the other two don't. Also, I'm not sure if Malik has had anything done to him, but his eye looks a bit more messed up than before. Huh, I don't know. Again, the details are a lot better, that's for sure. It actually does look a heck of a lot better. The shading, just the textures, it does look a lot cleaned up. It looks very, very nice. Perhaps there are some subtle changes as well, but that eye just looks, well, it nasty. Also, we have these new little crates. Apparently, they're rather delicate because Abe jumps on it and they explode moments later. Very volatile. I wonder if there's like SoulStorm brew in there, or like Madokan bone dust that they use in the bone kegs, and they're just laying about, so you gotta be careful of those as well. I have to say though, I do like how the portals are kind of yellow now, which is, I guess, is a callback to the originals, but it's still the same from New and Tasty, which I'm a bit meh about. Okay, so this last scene here, very important. Look at Abe's chest. It's glowing. So that thing, that orb that Abe has, it must be some sort of power up, and he must consume it or something, and it gives him either a new ability or he upgrades one of his abilities. Either way, Abe is glowing. He looks great. And he's also got lightning coming off of him, so perhaps it's like a Shrikal upgrade. Maybe it'll be more passive, maybe it'll be more volatile. Who knows? Either way, it looks dope. And Abe looks very happy. You don't see that happen all that often, so take it in. He also looks very relieved, so I imagine whatever just happened was painful. As of course as all his upgrades go. Very painfully. But there we have it. I hope you enjoyed this. This was lots of fun to do. Again, just came back from the hospital, so I'm probably going to go have a nap as soon as I've finished editing and uploaded this. Yeah, feel free to talk about it in the comment section below. I look forward to chatting to you all about it, and of course, getting my hands on this in April 6th. I've already got it for Epic Games. I'm going to get it on PS4, and I'm going to buy a PS5 copy as well. Well, actually, I won't need to buy a PlayStation 5 copy because I got PlayStation Plus, so let's go! Alright, anyway, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Until then, have a good day, have a good night. Bye-bye!